want to make sure everything is prepared before you start cooking. You want to make sure you've cut up all your carrots and potatoes. You want to make sure all of the ingredients are out, all of the cooking utensils are out. You want to make sure you have everything ready. That way you're not scrambling around when you're cooking your food. So what you're gonna want to do, actually, I don't even know what you're supposed to do next, so let me find out. Hello and welcome to Cooking on a Budget. Today I'll be making Filipino chicken adobo. I found this recipe in Good and Cheap, Eat Well on $4 a Day by Leanne Brown. Now this recipe is not as easy as the last two were, but dinner usually involves a little bit more work. This is also supposed to serve 8 people, so if you are making this on a Sunday night for one, your meal prep for the week is definitely done. And according to the book, the total amount this should cost you is $10.40, which would make it $1.30 per serving. So it's definitely cheap. So it's the next day and I'll explain later why. What you'll need for this recipe is 8 chicken thighs, 3/4 cup of rice vinegar or distilled white vinegar, 1/4 cup of soy sauce, 2 cloves of garlic, which will be minced. Now, if you just have minced garlic, that's fine too. You'll only need 2 to 3 teaspoons. 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, 2 bay leaves, 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, 2 medium-sized potatoes chopped, 4 medium-sized carrots sliced, 2 cups of white rice, 2 pinches of salt, 2 teaspoons of cornstarch mixed with 1 tablespoon of water. That does sound like a lot of ingredients. It can be overwhelming, but bear with me. So the reason for the next day is because you're supposed to marinate the chicken, which I have already done. So what you're gonna want to do is stir together the vinegar, soy sauce, garlic, pepper, and bay leaves in a large non-aluminum pan. I'm not really sure the importance of the non-aluminum, but I put mine in a glass. So you're gonna add the chicken into this mixture, and then you can either leave it in the fridge for 30 minutes. However, it's best overnight, hence it being the next day. What you're gonna wanna do next is move over to the stove. You're going to need 1 pot, medium to large size, and then either a large pan or pots. What you'll do next is put 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil in your larger pot. You're gonna wanna make sure the vegetable oil covers the entire bottom of the pot, and then you will turn on the heat to medium. The reason why you wanna get the oil all over the bottom of the pot or pan is so you have a completely covered when you put the chicken in for a few minutes. It won't stick to the bottom. Once your oil is nice and hot, what you're gonna wanna do next is uncover the chicken and pat it dry with a paper towel. However, do not throw away the marinade because you will be using that again later. I love that sound. Once the chicken has browned on both sides, just a little coating of brown, you're gonna want to add the sauce, carrots, and potatoes. And then you're gonna wanna add 3/4 cup of water in it Turn the heat up to high until it gets to a boiling level like this. And then you're going to turn it back down to low and let it simmer for 45 minutes. Something else you can also do while you wait is make the rice. Rice usually takes about 20 minutes, so you don't have to start it right away. However, after about 15 minutes, add the water in so it could start to boil, because that usually takes some time. And then when you add in the rice and the chicken should be done at the same time. In a separate little bowl, you're going to want to make the cornstarch mixture. So it's going to be 2 teaspoons of cornstarch and 1 tablespoon of water, and just mix that together a little bit, and that'll help thicken up the marinade. So your chicken, carrots, and potatoes with the marinade is going to look something like this before you add the cornstarch. And your rice, when it's done, is going to look something like that. Once the 45 minutes are up, you are going to take out the 2 bay leaves. I was about to call them basil leaves. And then add in the cornstarch and water mixture to thicken up the sauce. There's your finished product. If it's easier, you can take the chicken out of the pot and then add the cornstarch and stir it together. It was easier for me to stir it that way, I found out. It's also easier to take the chicken out, that way when you get to putting it all on a plate, then it is easier to get the potatoes and carrots out of the pot and maybe a little extra of the marinade. If you want more of the marinade glaze, then you can just take a spoon and pour it on. The rice will soak it up and it is delicious, let me tell you. This is so good. This is the first time I've had this, and man, is it delicious. I really hope that you enjoyed this meal. It was a little difficult to make, but in the end, it tasted really good. Please leave a comment down below telling me what you thought of this meal. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was amazing. I was afraid it was going to taste a little bit too much like vinegar because you had to add a lot, but it turned out to be delicious. It does take a little bit longer to make and it is kind of hard. However, totally worth it in the end. Now, as always, please like, comment, subscribe, and share, because here we will be making it unique, making it fun, but don't forget to make it your own.